The low center of gravity build, the balance king. If you've got that low center of gravity, you know exactly what it feels like when someone tries to barge you, and somehow you're still standing there with the ball like nothing happened. Your superpower isn't being strong in the gym sense, it's being stable while moving. Like your body changes direction without losing control. This is why the Messi and Maradona archetype is so unfair. Tight spaces, crowded midfield, legs flying in, and they're still slipping through because their balance lets them take micro touches without wobbling. The sneaky advantage is your first step. When you're lower, your change of direction is sharper, and defenders hate it because they can't predict whether you're cutting inside, outside, stopping, or accelerating. Bernardo Silva does this all game. He'll drag you into a press, keep the ball glued, then roll out like he's exiting a revolving door. Hazard in his peak was the same vibe. Defenders would think they'd pinned him, then he'd ride contact, keep his feet, and you're suddenly chasing. So what does this body type reveal about your football personality? You're built to be the guy who says, yeah, press me. I dare you. You're the player who turns pressure into a highlight without even trying to be flashy. The downside, you can get targeted physically. Some defenders will treat you like it's a wrestling match, and if you don't protect the ball with your body shape, shoulder slightly in, hips between man and ball, you'll get clipped. But if you master shielding and quick turns, you become the nightmare, the player who can't be cleanly dispossessed. So if your best dribble is the one where you barely look like you ran, you're probably this build. And yes, if you know, you know. And now we flip the exact opposite. Same sport, different cheat code, the build that eats space for breakfast. The long strider frame, the open field threat. If you're a long strider, your game is basically, give me grass, and I'll turn it into panic. Your advantage isn't always the first step like the low center guys. It's what happens after 2 or 3 strides. Once you open up, you cover distance like a glitch. That's why Haaland and Mbappe feel so brutal in transition. It's not just speed, it's how quickly they turn a 50-50 foot race into, why am I already losing? Henry in his prime was the cleanest example of this. He didn't need messy dribbles. He'd take one touch into space, open those long strides, and now the defender is running backwards, praying the goalkeeper saves him. And bringing in Van Dijk as a reference is perfect for your concept, because it shows the same body tool can dominate defensively too. Big stride length lets you recover ground, cover wide channels, and make fast attackers feel like they're not as fast as they thought. What this body type reveals about you, you're the don't give me space player. You're built for runs in behind, counters, open field duels, those moments where the pitch feels huge and the game becomes a race. The downside, tight spaces can feel annoying. When the ball is stuck in a crowded box, long legs can feel like traffic. More limbs, less room. Your solution is learning timing and angles, curved runs to stay on side, checking your shoulder early, and using your stride to attack the ball at the right moment. Long striders who look clumsy usually just take touches too big. Clean up the first touch, and your whole game upgrades. Now, what if you mix explosiveness with contact power? That's the next build, where defenders bounce off you and regret it. And before that, if you're enjoying this kind of real football breakdown, drop a like and subscribe, we've got more coming. The muscular power build, the dual dominator. If you're built like a power athlete, you don't just play football, you impose football. Your body type screams, you can't bully me, so don't even try. This is the build that wins shoulder-to-shoulder battles, protects the ball like it's a private possession, and turns duels into points on the scoreboard. This is why Prime R9 was so terrifying. People remember the dribbling and the step-overs, but the real cheat was the combo. Explosive change of direction plus strength through contact. He could hit a feint at speed, take the hit, and still finish. Cristiano Ronaldo in his more physically dominant phases, especially when he started turning into a goal machine, is another perfect reference. Power in the jump, power in the strike, power in the sprint. Drogba is basically the big game version of this build. Defenders couldn't stop him cleanly, and he had that habit of turning physical battles into decisive moments. And Adama Traoré is the modern try to take it off me then example. You can see defenders bounce off and immediately switch to plan B, fouling. So what does this body type reveal about you? You're built for duels, shielding, direct running, explosive actions. The moments where football isn't pretty, it's survival. The downside, if you rely only on power, smart defenders will bait you into heavy touches or predictable dribbles. The upgrade is technical. Keep your touches shorter, scan early, and learn when to pin a defender versus when to spin him. Power builds become even scarier when they learn patience, because once you add timing and composure, you stop being strong and start being unstoppable. Now, let's go to the opposite. Not built to overpower you, built to outlast you. The lean engine, the endless runner. If you're a lean engine type, you're the player who makes everyone else look tired by minute 70. Your gift is simple. You can repeat actions. Press, recover, press again. Sprint, jog, sprint again. Keep making runs when defenders are hoping you finally stop. Kante is the obvious reference because his body type matched his superpower, covering ground, arriving on time, and turning loose balls into momentum. Modric is the same engine, different usage version, less about chasing, more about constantly offering angles, constantly moving into the right pocket, constantly staying available. Thomas Müller is a brilliant shout here too, because his whole game is built on repeated movement, drifting, arriving, pressing triggers, second runs. Nothing looks flashy, but he's always involved. Griezmann is another perfect example. He can run like a midfielder, press like a forward, then still show up with end product because the engine never turns off. What does this body type reveal about you? You're built to be the system's best friend. The coach loves you because you can do the extra runs that make tactics actually work. The downside, you can get underrated. People see running and assume that's all you do. The upgrade is quality on the ball. First touch, quick passing, scanning before you receive. Because when an engine-type player also becomes clean technically, you turn into a problem that never ends. The Stocky frame, the space occupier. If you're stocky, strong through the hips, stable, hard to move, you're basically built for the parts of football that look simple until you actually play. You're the guy who can hold a zone, absorb contact, protect the ball, and keep your team stable when the match gets chaotic. Peak Rooney is a perfect example because he wasn't just power, he was power with aggression and sharpness. He could drive through midfield, hold off defenders, and still finish. Seedorf is the classy version, stocky base, strong core, and that ability to roll players off with one touch, then hit a pass that breaks lines. Casemiro fits here too, because his stocky stability is a huge part of why he controlled midfield battles, winning duels, arriving on second balls, using positioning and strength to shut down transitions. He wasn't there to look smooth, he was there to make sure the game didn't collapse. So what does this body type reveal about you? You're a control through stability player. You make the pitch feel smaller for the opponent because you occupy space properly and you're annoying to play through. The downside? Quick, slippery dribblers might try to drag you wide and spin you. Your solution is angles and patience. Don't dive, don't overcommit. Force them into the areas where your strength and positioning matter. And yes, this is the body type that wins ugly games. The kind of games where the highlight is simply, he didn't lose his duel all night. Now, let's go to the opposite vibe. The build that lives for sudden bursts, tricks, and nasty changes of direction. The elastic frame. The explosive dribbler. If you're elastic, loose hips, quick ankles, springy movement, you're built for the moments defenders hate most. The ones where you're standing still, and then suddenly you're not. This body type is all about snappiness, quick shifts, rapid acceleration, and body feints that happen too fast to read. Neymar is a perfect reference because his game is basically elasticity plus timing. He can slow the defender down with rhythm, then explode off either side. Dembélé fits because he's so quick in tight spaces that defenders can't even set their stance, and the two-footed threat makes it worse. Ronaldinho is the iconic version of this, not just fast, but flexible. Hips, shoulders, ankles. He could sell feints like magic tricks. And Vinicius Jr. is the modern nightmare example. He doesn't need 10 touches. One push, one burst, and the fullback is already in survival mode. What does this body type reveal about you? You're built to be the chaos starter. You're the player who breaks structure, not with strength, not with long passing, but by forcing defenders into 1-versus-1 decisions they don't want. The downside, your body can be targeted. Lots of explosive actions means defenders kick you, and your own muscles can get overloaded if you don't manage effort. The football upgrade is decision-making. Dribble to create something, not just to dribble. The best elastic players aren't skills merchants, they're chance creators. And now, last one, and it's one people misunderstand, because tall doesn't mean clunky. Tall can mean technical, and when it does, it's nasty. The tall technical frame, the aerial ballerina. If you're tall and technical, your game is basically a mismatch generator, because defenders want tall players to be simple, win headers, hold the ball, finish crosses. But when you add real technique to that frame, you become the guy who can win in the air and beat you on the ground. Zlatan is the loudest example. Tall, strong, ridiculous balance for his height, and the ability to turn awkward balls into finishes that shouldn't be possible. Giroud is the smart example. Elite movement, elite link play, and that ability to make a random cross become a controlled layoff or a clean finish. And Van Basten is the perfect complete elegance reference here. Tall, athletic, technically elite, and capable of scoring from angles that don't even look like chances. That's the real point. Tall technical players aren't just finishers, they're connectors, they're problem solvers. They can control high balls, bring others into play, and still punish you in the box. What does this body type reveal about you? You're built to be a reference point without being limited. You can be the guy who pins centre backs, but also the guy who drops in and plays like a creator when needed. The downside, if your coordination isn't sharp, tight spaces can feel rough, ball can bounce, touches can escape. The upgrade is simple: clean first touch, body shape, and scanning early so you're not reacting late. If you've got this build and you learn to move like a smaller player, you become a cheat code. So yeah, that's the 7 body builds, and none of them is better. They're just different toolkits. The real flex is figuring out what you're built to do, then playing like it on purpose. Now tell me in the comments, which one are you, and which pro is your I play like him reference? If you want part 2 with even more body types and more player examples, hit like, subscribe, and click one of the videos on your screen. See you very soon.